Hey, I'm Cole, also known as TheRailz. Maybe you've seen me on this podcast, or this podcast, or maybe you know me from my comics and inappropriate drawings on Twitter.
Shameless self-promotion.
I'm here to review and talk about the new Eminem album. Now, I'm going to do something not a lot of reviewers do because, well, it kind of defeats the purpose of making a review video, but I'm just going to tell you right up front that I actually kind of like this album. Sorta. Kinda. If you like Eminem, check it out. If you don't, give this one a pass. So, yeah, there you go. That's the review. I mean, I'll talk about why in the rest of this video. But if you don't care, then we're done here. You can stop watching. It's not like we're actually making any ad revenue on these videos. It's not like we have patrons who care. Nah, we're just an independent channel struggling to make a name for ourselves on an oversaturated 2018 YouTube and use the support. Eminem's Kamikaze dropped late Friday night, August 31st, 2018. The album acts as a pretty direct response to the negative reactions Eminem received after hitting a career low with Revival. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't listen to Revival. I tried to, but I just couldn't do it. The singles were no bueno, and the responses I heard from people was frightening. I wasn't super huge on the Marshall Mathers LP2, and I mean, it was good. It was okay, but it wasn't great. There were some really good songs on it, but overall, I just didn't feel that album. Nor was I really into the Shady 15 compilation thing. I just didn't have it in me to hear Eminem at such a low with Revival. Because here's the thing, I really like Eminem's music. I think it's great. Wow, a 22-year-old white guy who likes Eminem. Shocking. I'm pretty lenient on what Eminem has put out over the years. I liked Recovery, I liked Relapse, and I liked Encore, sorta. I even really enjoyed the Bad Meets Evil tape, so even though I skipped Revival, when I saw this project drop, I held my breath and jumped in. What I heard was interesting. It was a mix I didn't really expect. It was the shit-talking, fast-rapping, cocky, smooth-flowed Eminem of old, layered over some pretty dope trap beats. My biggest fear going into this album was that it was going to be another project filled up with overly produced rock-rap instrumentals and corny pop singers.
Fuck you! I ain't having that shit!
Like, you gotta understand, the beats themselves can be fun, and M has had some great choruses with sung vocals that aren't his own, Stan and Going Through Changes being prime examples. But these drawn-out pop singer choruses with cheesy lyrics just don't sound good. To me. Obviously to me. It's my opinion, because this is my video. Instead, what I got on Kamikaze was a track list of fairly interesting modern beats, and Eminem just going in with, for the most part, smooth and fun flows. Rhyme schemes are tight, as to be expected, and the lyrics were more engaging than what I've heard of Revival's track list. The album kicks off with The Ringer, and it does what I feel fans have been asking for Eminem to return to for years, to flex his lyrical chops and shit on people. And he did just that. And he does a lot of it on this album. On The Ringer, M cuts loose and fires back at those who spoke against him and Revival. M goes in with interesting flow mix-ups and a simple but effective beat. He calls out a lot of people, targets music journalists, and just generally angrily addresses anyone who had something to say about Revival or M's, fading career. The Ringer is a fast-paced and loaded highlight of the album for sure. From there we head into Greatest, which, save for a kind of annoying chorus, is mostly a fun ride. Just more of M spitting hard and spitting fast, and even has musical references to Playboi Carti and Logic. The topic of modern hip-hop is a big theme of this project, from the various name drops to his beats and flows, and the direct target that he's placed on mumble rap. After that, we get a skit with Paul, where Paul states he doesn't think this album is a good idea because it's just M lashing out at haters, which he says is a slippery slope. And I mean, he's right. There wasn't really any sort of subversion or argument against the idea of doing the album. He just says, don't do the album. I mean, okay. The later skit in which M calls him back, though, I actually found to be funny, because M paints himself as a dude who's scrolling through YouTube comments and is heading to a commenter's house to kick his ass, which I'd actually buy him doing. It's dumb but humorous. I'm a simple man. On Lucky You, a collab with Joyner Lucas, Joyner raps about the strides he's made in the game and yet how he's still being overlooked. Eminem follows Joyner by stating how he's experienced the opposite in the past, and yet in the end is also overlooked in the current music scene. It's on tracks like Lucky You, a personal favorite of mine, and the following track, Normal, that Eminem adopts these musical themes and styles of his modern rap rivals, and it works surprisingly well, which is something I wish I could say about the album as a whole. Because when Eminem treats these styles seriously and tries to put his own spin on them, it makes for a sound that's pulling from the strengths of both modern rap and Eminem's technical ability. Sadly, half the time it feels like Eminem is just bitterly mocking the trends of modern hip-hop, and most of the time just straight up shitting on trap and mumble rappers, which is apparent by the lyrics themselves. There's moments like on Lucky You where Eminem has a sense of almost clarity, discussing how he's being ignored by the modern industry and his general frustrations with the sounds and faces currently dominating rap. He acknowledges the change in the music, and he calls back to how his old self would have responded to the negativity he's received in recent times, and admits to the failure of revival. But these glimpses of self-awareness are brief before he slips back into what sometimes appears to be legitimate anger at it all, like on The Ringer. It's this anger that dominates a lot of the album, possibly to its detriment, because while the old Eminem was known for his aggression, it was always presented through humor or through self-aware reflection. He reacted to criticism in a way that made it appear as if it just slipped off his shoulders. And though we hear in later songs how it actually did bother him, the way he reacts nowadays, such as with this album, makes him seem like a bitter dude who's aged out of the game rather than the anger-fueled, rebellious youth that he was. Moving on to the song Normal, Eminem raps about his love life in the way you'd probably expect by now, a dark sense of humor and violence. This isn't new. What is new, however, is the second half of the track where Eminem takes on a sing-songy cadence reminiscent of someone like Drake maybe, which works well in addition to the chorus. The song is a bit rough, however, because while the style of the song makes it feel like it's trying to be a hip, albeit twisted take on relationship songs like Eminem's Superman, for example, I just feel such a disconnect from the smooth radio love song sound and automatically associating any love song Eminem puts out with Kim. However, the sound, like on Lucky You, is something Eminem seems to be genuinely trying to work with, and it makes for one of the most refreshing songs I've heard from Eminem in a while. Following this, we get songs like Stepping Stone, a sad sort of apology to his old group D12, which is a solid song with a beat I actually really like, which for some reason vaguely reminded me of Spend Some Time off Encore, but the chorus is one of the shakiest on the album, and the ending flow to the third verse is honestly just annoying. Not Alike with Royce da 5'9" is fun solely to hear Royce and M on a track together, but as previously mentioned, it's one of those songs that just seems bitter and mocking towards the style of music they're trying to work with, and as a result just falls short in my opinion. Kamikaze was one of my least favorite tracks on the album, but upon further listen, it's grown on me quite a bit. It's fun, the flow is quirky, and the chorus is a nice callback to the best Eminem song, Fack. Remember Fack? Remember? It's also just a humorous acknowledgement of Revival's reception. It's probably the song in the album with the most humor, and that's what's really important to note here, because as previously mentioned, Eminem seems to lack a lot of humor nowadays. While the Marshall Mathers LP2 wasn't a comeback for M in my book, it held strong because of its return to storytelling and humor. That isn't to say Eminem hasn't been cracking jokes all this time. He has, I find the beat on this track a bit grating, but it fits the song well. Good song! Then comes Fall, the song that's been stirring waves since this project dropped. The song has a chorus by Justin Vernon, who has since publicly disavowed the song and stated he wasn't involved in its creation, or at least wasn't in the studio at the time of its recording. Which is like, come on man. Really? I'm not even going to get into that, but the chorus itself is simple and I dig it. The song is another attack track at M's detractors and the state of hip-hop as a whole. It's an enjoyable listen, but has caused a lot of backlash due to his dig at Tyler the Creator and use of the F-slur. Now, Eminem did censor the word, which is weird because it shows M had at least some self-awareness of how the line could be taken, but decided to let it slide anyways, and it's like, censoring it isn't going to do shit. Either pull the trigger or don't, and in this case, he probably should have just skipped it entirely. I'm not particularly shocked by Eminem's usage, nor do I think Tyler will be really hurt by it considering his egregious use of the word in the past, but personally I find the shots at Tyler and Earl Sweatshirt in general to be a shame, as both are highly talented rappers and on a completely different level of the other rappers that M has name dropped in Kamikaze, such as Lil Xan and Lil Pump. They both put out great projects, and I'd argue Tyler's Flower Boy is better than M's last few records, but that's just me. Tyler himself has shown influence from Eminem's best projects on his own early work such as Bastard and Goblin. Em mentions how he's inspired the Logics and Hobsons and Big Seans of the world, and I feel Tyler definitely should have been amongst those Em shouted out and not shit on. The rest of the song is alright, more angry responses to critics, tight rhymes, that's about it. And just a quick post-recording edit, Eminem has since said in an interview with Sway that the diss wasn't entirely personal. He just felt like Tyler and Earl had gotten a bit too comfortable in their bad-mouthing of Eminem despite them acting chummy to his face. It was a reminder that there's only so much being shit on that M will take. He sounded as if he kinda regretted the words usage, or potentially targeting them in general, but didn't explicitly apologize or admit he was wrong. The last 3 tracks, Nice Guy, Good Guy, and Venom, are probably my least favorites of the album. Nice Guy and Good Guy are back-to-back romance tracks about being cheated on or something, which, in addition to normal, makes 3 songs about that topic on the album. It's a bit much for my taste. Nice Guy is the best of the 3 final tracks, with some nice verses from Jesse Reyes. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But the piano-laced chorus just sounds to me, and the Suck My Dick refrain, while reminiscent of the classic track Under the Influence on the Marshall Mathers LP, is just dumb? I don't know. Eminem's flow also just sits awkwardly with me. Good Guy is just okay, sure I guess, I don't know. I've listened to it multiple times, and it just isn't sticking. Like, I legit keep forgetting what it sounds like, and I can't remember any of the lines. The beat is nice, I think? And then Venom. God damn it. When I first saw the title for this and saw the music from the motion picture, I thought it was a joke, honestly. I don't know what to say about this track. For some reason, it kind of reminds me of Underground from Relapse, but I like Underground, and I don't like this. It's just, the beat is kind of lame, the flow does that stuttering flow he already did on Kamikaze, the lyrics are just generic, and that chorus, oh my god, it's annoying. And yet kind of catchy, but not that good kind of catchy, the kind of catchy that just kind of drills its way into your head and you want it to stop. And this is supposed to be the main song off the Venom soundtrack. I'm more worried for the movie than I was before. And I want to love this movie so bad, just like I want to love this album, but I don't. Here's the thing with this album. It could be great. Like, I genuinely think it could be great. Cuts like The Ringer, Lucky You, Normal, and Kamikaze show that. If Eminem could lighten up and have some fun genuinely working with the musical styles of modern hip-hop, the flows, the beats, filtered through his own twisted interpretation and his lyrical prowess, I think he could drop some projects that actually tread new ground for him and might actually bring him some relevance in the current game. Kamikaze, however, is bogged down by just his nasty tone in these songs. He treats working on this project like it's a middle finger to people who both wanted him to go back to shady and to people who are fans of modern hip-hop trends. M just sort of lashes out without any clever or funny angles to funnel that anger through. The technical ability to string words together and have it be coherent and intricately rhymed sentences is there, but the substance, the comedy, the storytelling Eminem is known for, I feel is missing. So why did I still kinda like this album? The same reason I kinda like trap and mumble rap. It just sounds nice. It's fun to listen to. I cannot stand mumble rapping. They're obnoxious and exhausting to hear try to incoherently put words together, but their beats are intoxicating, and if you treat their vocals like they're often meant to be as another instrument to the beat rather than words you're meant to follow, then it can be an enjoyable time in limited doses. One of the biggest comments I've seen from people regarding Kamikaze is, "Oh, Eminem is just rapping fast, we get it, it's old, he's not even saying anything important." And they're right, but neither are half the relevant rappers out there. But it's okay for them because it's just drug-fueled zone-out party music, and Kamikaze is Eminem dipping his toes in the trap scene. And so even though I'm not sure it's intentional on his part, I'm treating Eminem's vocals the same way. When he goes into his
Spiritual, lyrical, individual, spiritual
rap god flows, he could be speaking life-altering shit, and I wouldn't understand it without Genius Up anyways. So who fucking cares? It just sounds cool. It's fun. It's texture over some slick beats. Kamikaze shows me that Eminem has the potential to work with new sounds and find his footing in the modern rap game yet again, but until that day comes, if ever, we're left with a subpar but fun little album to zone out to. 5 out of 10. Hey guys, I know this album review is almost a month late. I actually wrote this like a few days after the project dropped, but things like school and my laptop dying kept getting in the way. But if you like this, be sure to let us know down in the comments. I'd personally love to try to do more reviews for music, movies, whatever. So yeah, if you like it, let us know. You can also subscribe to the channel for the usual podcasts and Blake's Top to Bottom. And you can follow my Twitter. I do silly comic strips weekly. And I also draw other things, some of which may not be to people's liking, but you're free to check it out. Remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and as always, thanks for the support. Peace.